This is Sonic XS, and we're here with Order of Ennead. We got Kevin, Steve, and Scott. What's going on, guys? How's it going? Thanks for taking out the time to speak with us here. Now, you guys just released your self-titled debut a few months ago and have already toured Europe and the States on your first full U.S. tour. Is this something that you guys started out for fun, or did you have the serious approach right from the beginning?
Serious approach right from the beginning, man. It's like we don't get into this just to fucking jerk around with it, you know.
So it's safe to say that this isn't a side project.
It's a band, man. We got the record. We're on the road. We're making all the right moves.
Full throttle on, man.
We're trying.
Now was that a big conflict with DEICIDE?
Nah, dude, it's great.
Being right in, yeah.
Look, we're on tour together.
That works out.
Perfect.
Now, is it tough doing double duty?
No, I enjoy it.
Every night, yeah.
It fucking keeps me busy. Be sitting around with my thumb in my ass.
How do you like the different styles?
Of what?
Of drum-wise, music-wise, too.
Drum-wise, it ain't all that different. It's me playing.
Steve, when you're fucking a MILF, do you find yourself to be a tad bit like disgusted with yourself, or does
yes.
the smell of like?
now, what about a gilf?
In fact, I do.
I mean, do you just ferment her pussy hair before you do her, or do
I just keep
go with the whole gray thing?
See, I like the whole comb over thing. You want to get in on this? Come on. All right. Now, you guys were formed from the foundation of Council of the Fallen. Why was the decision made to drop the name?
You know, go ahead.
Well, it was a different thing. With the council, there was death metal vocals and black metal vocals. With this, I'm doing all the vocals, so it's a little bit of a different direction. And with Steve in the band, we just wanted to start new with Earache, and we want to become more of a touring band than anything.
Now, how'd the concept come about to do not both black metal and death metal vocals, just certain, a unique style of vocals?
Mixed with stuff?
Yeah.
That's just the vocals I can do.
Nice.
If I could do death metal vocals, we'd have some in there. But
it's pretty good range. Has a good variety to it too. Now, Order of Ennead is a very interesting name. I had to do some research on the matter, but can you tell us what the title is about? Who came up with the name?
Ennead means the nine, and the nine refers to the original Heliopolis, 9 creator gods. Blah 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 from Egypt. It's a big long story, dude, and it kind of takes a bit of remembering it.
the Ennead are the ones that gave man knowledge, and I've sort of incorporated that into the lyrics as well. So, like, through yourself, you can find knowledge.
Now, are you primarily responsible for all the lyrical writings?
Yes.
It's a bit different from death and black metal.
Yes.
Somewhat inspiration. How'd that come about? Is this just something that you had to think about, or was it just something that you just penned down and kept flowing?
You write what you know, and everyone has that question of why we are here and all this business. So it just comes naturally. If I did like Satan lyrics, it just wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be convincing. So to do something that is honest.
Right. So lyrically, it's somewhat in the same page as Council.
I wrote the lyrics for Council. So
oh, you did? Okay.
It's going to be the same thing pretty much. Get a lot of inspiration from Chuck Schindler from Death and Nevermore's lyrics are awesome. So learn that, John.
Nice. Now, with everybody going into this project, knowing everybody, how smooth was the writing and recording process?
I actually didn't know Steve until we started jamming.
Oh, really? You didn't? Okay.
I knew Scott because he was jamming with Council. We did some shows with Scott.
Yeah, we did an EP, but we ended up not releasing.
Yeah, we did an EP.
Oh, no shit.
Made a studios under the Council name, and then we got Steve in the band, and we just started reworking those songs and adding his drum parts and developing the structure a little bit more.
Nice. Now, do you guys have any leftover material that you didn't put on the album that we're going to see on the next release? Or
we've got the second one demoed already. We started working on that like the month after we recorded the album, and I have enough songs for a third album also.
Now, you guys also recorded a bunch of demos before you guys gave the full release. With the demos, what's on the album?
Yes. The demos were just pre-productions. We had Santiago Doubles from Agora do some solos, and then he was busy, so we got John Lee involved, so it's his solos on the album. But it's just, it's good to do pre-production just to figure out what you want to do in the studio so you can make it as efficient as possible.
Is John Lee on this tour, or is Jack Owen still filling in?
John Lee's on this tour.
He is nice, nice. How's the crowd's reaction have been? Have you guys had to win everybody over, or is it just instant once you hit the stage and they know what you're all about? And
I don't know. I'd say like we did good in Europe, and there are certain places like in France and Germany that were incredible. But surprise to all of us, the States, we've been like killing it every night. The crowd reaction's just been wonderful. The kids in front know the words. It's a surprise and it's a pleasant one.
same with the U.S. crowd?
Like no, this is the U.S. crowd I'm talking about. It's like
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the European
Europe
crowd.
was good, but we went over there with primarily a death metal package, and we kind of span a little bit more than that. And I think the American kids kind of just look at extreme metal as a whole instead of like being in these little subgroups.
And we're playing early too. Yeah, we're going on pretty early.
Yeah, we're going on second in Europe. And a six-pan bill also with DEICIDE, Vader, Cameo, and then the guys from Marduk now and Deviant.
Oh, hell yeah.
But the crowds have been good, and if they're not into it at the beginning, they are by the end. So,
Well, if not by the end of the night, I'm sure they're grabbing the CDs, right?
yeah.
Oh yeah. So what have been some of the highlights on the tour, aside from pretty much winning the crowd over and them already going into the venue knowing who you guys are?
It wouldn't be White Castle. That's not right. And the hereafter's after that, but just driving in a van with everybody, talking to everybody, hearing Glenn and Steve's war stories from the past is always entertaining.
I'm sure there's probably a lot of good of those.
There's a couple.
So you play the fretless bass. Not too many people do. I know Steve from Death Testament does, but other than that, there's not too many death metal artists that do.
You have the first guy from Pestilence, did. You have Sean Malone from Cynic. Got the guy from here, he's from Smoke Orange, who also plays. And I started playing bass when I was 9, almost 27 years ago. And I picked up the fretless when I was about 18, and then I listened to Selling Seas of Cheese and some more Jonas Helberg stuff. It wasn't until Individual Thought Patterns came out that I said, I can do what? Cool. So I kind of went, I don't sound anything like, the only real comparison between me and Steve is that we both play fretless. We both have completely different styles of playing. But it's just, it adds it's like another tone. It's like, it's a different sound and it adds more texture.
Yeah, not only do you go into the studio with the fretless, do you play live also?
Yeah,
You do. You always play fretless? Nice.
Actually, in the studio, we had an issue with the mid-range in the mix, so I did play fret for the first time in almost like 17 years, and I never recorded it. I played a fret bass for the recording. It came out good, but everything tone-wise is always you. Just
Nice. Now, you guys are such a different mesh of metal styles. I mean, black, thrash, death, black end. What do you guys consider yourself as, if you guys even throw your name into that category?
Just extreme.
Extreme metal.
That covers all
It's a
genres.
nice vague reference to all the genres, yes, without being pinned into one or another, which people like to do, categorize you. And it's kind of necessary, I guess, in something like music. Some people know what you're talking about. But you don't really fit in one or the other. You're straddling the few.
We hope to be able to tour with death metal bands, black metal bands, anything that pops up,
Yeah, you guys are pretty much the best of every world. You got a lot of melodic tones mixed with thrash, death, black.
John Lee's solos added a lot of melody to everything, and added a lot of layers to it.
Nice. All right. I think this will wrap it up. Any last words for your fans? Anything else you guys want to add?
Just keep listening to the stuff and come out and see us on the road. We'll be around as often as possible.
Now after this tour wraps up, what do you guys got going in the works? You gonna go back in the studio or just keep being road dogs?
There's no tour schedule at the moment, but we're looking into a couple European things, a couple US things. So maybe by the end of the year, record a second album.
Nice.
Pretty much up to Eric whenever.
Are you looking at a full European tour this time?
Definitely.
Nice, nice.
As many tours and shows as we can.
Awesome, man. Thanks for taking the time out, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks,